More.
All right, welcome everybody to Tabletop to Keyboard. Hopefully you're still here. Did you all go home? Did you Ferris Bueller on me and go home at the end? No, because it wasn't the end. You're still here, so welcome back. I am Dustin. I am the GM for most things Zweihander around here at T22KB. And if you are familiar with everything that I have done to this point, you know I have ran two, and I will use the term successful in quotations, Zweihander campaigns that have led up to this one, the third. And if you look at this, you will see that it is again a brand new cast. I bring a new cast for every one of these games. And so I have a whole new group of people here with me. We're going to introduce them, and we're going to start with character creation. So if you are not familiar with character creation in Zweihander, it is the grim and perilous method. You roll your stats, you put them in the order you roll them. Everything is random, and you get this little bundle of joy that becomes your character, and you get to raise it to a full-fledged adult. And these lucky players, unlike my last two groups, will get to play at the highest level. We're going to be at advanced tier for this game. So when they're done, they're going to have three professions. One they're going to roll tonight. One I have already applied to all their sheets, and that is Vigilante, because you can't be a vigilante without it, and it's in the title, so they're all vigilantes. And then they will get the luxury of picking a third profession that they will then get the opportunity then to advance and grow throughout gameplay for this campaign. So, with that explanation out of the way, we're going to go ahead and do some introductions here, and we're going to go based on the way they are in my on my screen here, so you guys can take it. We're going to start with Velik down there at the end. So Velik, go first. Tell everyone who you are.
Hello, everybody. I'm Velik, and been playing tabletop games for a long time, so we won't go into all of that. But you can catch me around the internet at Xenoduck on Twitter, Abducted Gaming on Twitch. I've played a lot of different games, mostly D&D and Vampire, and I'm excited to try out Zweihander for the first time.
All right. And moving along the overlay, Jake.
I'm Jake with the Defenders of Kobold, twitter.com/Kobold Defenders for all of our stuff. And I am very much looking forward to playing this. I have played Zweihander before, and I got to play a Vigilante before, and he was quite insane. It was very fun, and I'm looking forward to going on with such wild adventures tonight.
He's gonna get more mileage out of that Pumpkin King emoji.
Oh yes.
All right, that takes us over here to Christopher. Christopher, tell everyone who you are.
Hello, I'm Christopher from Two Old Guys Games, 2oggames.com, and from All the RPGs on Twitch. And then I play whenever I can, including today.
All right, and Snacks.
Hi, I'm Debbie Snacks. You can find me on Twitch, Debbie Snacks. I play over on all the RPGs on Wednesday nights, with also on Homebrew Roleplay in the World of Karen on every other Saturday. And I just successfully managed to survive 2 Zweihander campaigns with Dustin. And so I'm excited to get on this longer one with a new crew and some folks that I enjoy watching across Twitch. So.
No, nobody gets to live 3 times. Sorry, Debbie. I'm just telling you now. It's not going to work. It's just.
Freddie doesn't exactly have to be here. Freddie can kind of often do business somewhere else for a while.
And rounding out this motley crew of would-be vigilantes, we have Friendon. Friendon, tell everyone who you are, what you do around here.
Going with the vigilante theme, I'm not actually Friendon. That's my secret identity. No, I'm Friendon. You can find me everywhere, drawing stuff for people. It's what I do for a living. And I'm super excited to play with Dustin. We've known each other a while on the internets now, and I like Zwei. I like these systems, so I'm excited to see what kind of weird hero I roll up tonight. And you could find me Twitch/Friendon and all that stuff.
In the words of Star-Lord, we're going to make some weird shit.
Exactly.
So here we go.
I've loaded my mixtape. I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. So for everybody at home, hopefully you've checked out the first 2 campaigns of my Zweihander campaign. Again, this is the 3rd installment of a trilogy. The first one was Terror in Treefell. The second one was Horror in Huttenberg. And those are all on our YouTube channel. You can go there. You can find those campaigns in their entirety and learn about the entire story up to this point. If you do those things and you watch the 60-some hours it would take for you to watch both of those campaigns, you will notice plenty more Easter eggs that have been laid out in this campaign as it moves along. So that's your homework for the next 2 weeks. It's only 60 hours. Come on, you can binge it. I believe in you. But we're going to go ahead and get started here with some basic tier creation. Now, you all have character sheets. Hopefully, you can all access your sheets. Hopefully, you've found everything you need to know about creating your characters. Most of you have done this before, so we're going to roll through this as quickly as possible so I don't keep you here all night. Oh, I lost something there. Hold on. What was I doing? Where did my screen go? What am I clicking on? Where is everything disappearing to? And just like that, I've messed it all up. There it is. All right, we're back. Okay, so I don't need to click on that screen. I don't know why I did that, but I did. We are going to start with the attributes section. So on your attributes page, you will see that you have your attributes going down the side of the sheet there. We are doing Grim and Perilous Creation. So again, the order that you roll them is the order that you're going to put them in there. Christopher has done himself a wonderful job of a mock roll there to get himself ready. I'm going to assume that was a warm-up roll. And
that was me testing the macro.
That's what I figured. If you had a macro, I figured that's what you had done. I don't care if you macro it. I don't care if you roll it every time. But we're going to go ahead and go down the sheets. And we're going to start with... I told him he was going to go last, but then I put him first in the overlay. So we're going to let the fresh blood, the new blood, go first.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
So, Velik, you get to start us off. It's 3d10 plus 25. And I have a screen set up there so that the chat will be able to see the rolls as they come in. So this is your combat score. All right. So on your skills and attributes page, you'll see a round circle there where you get to put this number. About 3/4 of the way down the sheet. So 3d10 plus 25, you're going to do this 7 times, but this is the first one for combat. A 46. That's a fairly good roll. Now, if you take what should be the mean of 3d10 plus 25, puts you at 42. So if you think of 42 as the most median roll you can end up with, 46 is pretty good. So put your 46 in your combat. We'll move on to your brawn.
That goes into the circular
Yes,
area?
It goes into the circle. And you will see that the number in the square next to it populates as you put those in, and we'll tell you what those do later. But right now, just go ahead and go forward with the down the row. 46 again for brawn.
Whoa.
This is where, if Rain Sons is watching, he's hating you because he had such crap scores on his character. He hated every minute of it.
I do. We'll see if it holds. I do have a tendency when rolling stats with characters to either bomb out or roll really well. So,
yeah.
45.
Okay.
You're knocking her out of the park here for... It's beginner's luck. That's what it is, isn't it?
So he's the Dr. Manhattan of the group, basically.
He may be by the time he's done. He's still got 4 more rolls to go. Let's not...
He's rolling some rocks, though.
44. Someone's got the hot dice. 47?
Whoa.
Check out the hacks on this guy.
I'm starting to feel bad now.
This is the single best Y character I've ever seen rolled on stream.
It's a pretty good one so far. I would put him up there with Meraki. Meraki had some pretty fantastic stats. 42? Oof. Is that it? Is that 7?
6.
7, yeah. That's it, 7.
That should be it.
With the 1, he's like, nope.
42, there you go. So, wow, man, you didn't have a single score below 42. Now, there is a mercy rule. If you don't roll a single score above 42, you get to make one of them 42. And I haven't had to use a mercy rule on anyone yet. But you have the opposite problem. You don't have a single score below 42. So that's a fantastic way to lead off, rookie. And now all these veterans are going to come in here with their dunce scores, and you're going to see what happens next. So,
turns out every stat's my dump stat? Weird.
Yeah. Now,
28,
Jake,
29. Here
Jake,
we go.
You're up next, Jake. So go ahead and follow that. I dare you.
Huh? Roll number 1. 41, okay.
41.
Okay. Not useless in a fight, that's nice.
Never tell him the odds.
Yeah. 43, okay.
You guys are all stellar so far.
Well, let's see how agile he is, though. 37.
There, we're
Not
getting into
not as hot as he could be.
You didn't want to use a rapier anyway.
31. I didn't want to use my eyes anyway either. See how smart he is.
36. That's not bad.
Yeah.
We all know intelligence is the least used skill stat in Zweihander.
He graduated public school.
Yeah. 42. That's not
42 willpower. That's good.
Not bad.
And fellowship. How charismatic is this fellow? 47. Fairly. All right.
That's not bad considering the history behind what you're doing, and we'll get to that when we get to professions in a little bit. So, that is not a bad roll. Is that all of it? Yeah, that was your fellowship, right? So you're done. All right, Christopher, the pressure's no longer on you. Jake did a good job of going back to normalcy and Zweihander rolling. So
Why are my hands so icy then? It's like batting third with 2 on already. All right, here we go. 42. Respectable combat. 39. Not super strong. It's all right.
37.
Uh-oh.
A 47.
47 perception.
Yeah, well. 41.
I'm the smart guy.
That's willpower, and that's
39. 39 is willpower.
39 is willpower, yep. And then your fellowship will be 52.
Oh!
Mr. Face-Friendly guy.
Nice.
Every group has to have a face man. We may have just found him.
Rock Heaven.
All right. That's definitely the highest score of the day, which is good because your brawn and agility is not real high, so you may not be the most combative person in the group, but
I'm like, wait, fight them.
that's right. And then watch him roll the warrior. He'll get Cell Sword. It happens every time. That's just how it works.
I love
All right, so that is not bad. Somewhere out there, Rain Survives is cringing at all these scores because. All right, so moving right along, Debbie, you've done this before. You know what to do. Freddy was a good character. Make another one for us tonight. 3d10 plus 25.
All right. I see someone said my favorite word in chat, but I'm going to wait to yell it until something happens and I go, nope, that didn't work for me. All right, so to start out with combat of 48.
48.
I'll take that. Brawn.
38.
38. Oh. Okay, no mountains amongst men here.
41.
41.
45.
45.
A 46.
I have 2 more, right?
I think so.
44.
37.
And a 30. Okay,
You're
so I
not
don't
the
have.
face man this time around.
Yeah, so what did I do there? Combat, though, was high. That's nice.
Yeah, it's not bad if you're going into combat. And there is something about Vigilante that just kind of screams like, I might need to combat things, right? So, I mean,
A little bit.
everybody's got pretty decent combat scores so far. The only one who can ruin that for us now is Frendon. So, and I got faith in Frendon that he's going to manage for us here. So,
Oh, I'll manage all right. I'll manage to ruin all the luck everyone has had by going back. And you know what? I'm one of those weird players that loves when their character is crap and facing bad odds and dies and things like that. So give me all the BX style early dungeon deaths. I'm here for it.
I haven't found a set of stats in Zweihander I can't kill yet, so it's all good.
That's fair. That's fair.
Good.
All right, I'm going. Let's see.
42.
Okay. All right. 40.
40.
37. 49.
Ooh.
46.
46.
Wow.
2 more.
51.
Whoa.
Oh,
Is that willpower?
Yeah, it is.
51 willpower. If you get a caster, oh man.
Oh boy.
I mean, the odds are not in your favor getting a caster, but if you
No.
get a caster, ooh,
I'll be Caster the Friendly Ghost there.
what is
Holy.
going on today? I mean, like I said, Rain Survives, I'm pretty sure, got a 27 in one stat. This is like
Wow.
the lowest you could, 28 or
What's
something. It's like the
happening here?
lowest you could roll in one stat. Like, it was bad. But hey, you know what, though? They all got through a successful Zweihander campaign with crap scores, and they technically became heroes. So, you know, it's all good. They had a good time.
That technically worries me.
Hey, Dustin, I
Yeah.
did give the sysadmin at Roll20 like an extra couple $100
What
before.
we did is, are they in the
Yeah.
chat tonight? Because if they're in the chat
Yeah.
tonight, it's worth it. So,
Yeah, they are.
All
They
right.
are.
Now, with that out of the way, and boy, are they off to a good start. From here on out, truth be told, whatever you roll is just what you roll. There's technically nothing better or worse than anything else from here on out. That was the only time that you can really claim that you had great or bad rolls. Everything else just determined something. So we're going to start with your ancestry. And for those of you who are familiar with Zweihander, it is a humanocentric world. So you are all, at this very moment, human. And you are allowed to stay human if you want. But if you would rather put it in the hands of fate, you can roll on a handy-dandy chart. That will give you the options of dwarf, elf, halfling, gnome, or ogre. And so you will each get to make that choice as you go. Every ancestry has its own ancestral trait chart that you roll on, even human. So there's no such thing as a wrong answer. It's just a matter of what do you prefer your vigilante to be. And so we will kick things off with Velik. Daniel, what do you want to play? Do you want to play human, or do you want to roll on the chart and see what the chaos gods give you?
Well, I was gonna determine that based on what everyone else got to make sure we had some variation on here. But you know what? I'll roll it.
Oh, don't worry. I have a feeling they're all rolling. Like, I have a feeling they ain't gonna be human by the time this thing's over. So you're gonna roll. I need a D100. Everything from here on out is a D100 roll. So a 4. You're a dwarf.
All right.
Up there under ancestry on your sheet, you can put dwarf in there. What that will do is those boxes in the squares next to the scores you just put in, there's a smaller box underneath it. When you type in dwarf, if you put a capital letter and you put dwarf, you should see stat adjustments underneath those boxes appear, and that's when you'll know you put your ancestry in correctly. He's a dwarf. Okay, moving along, we have Jake. Jake, what was the Pumpkin King the first time around?
It actually started as a strange extension of the Middle Ages Earth. So, well, not even the Middle Ages, the Reformation. So, he was human.
He was human the first time. Are you going to stay human?
You know what? I'll roll the dice and we'll see what comes up.
Because human's not on the chart, so.
Oh, okay. Oh,
you
that's
either
right.
pick human, or you get something
usually
else. Right.
I'll stick with human then. Usually, when I
human?
roll at home, I just put human 50% and then.
Oh, okay. So human it is. So if you're going to stay human, you don't have to do anything else for the moment. We'll get back to you here momentarily. Christopher, how are you feeling
I want to be
today?
something exotic.
Exotic. Roll it.
63.
That puts you as a halfling.
That's exotic. It's exotic.
Halfling it is.
A very handsome halfling.
Now, Debbie Snacks, you played a human in something about Marie and Bitter Harvest for me. Are you going to do something different this time, or are you going to go for something more exotic as well?
I think I am going to not play it safe because it seems like a solid crew and some great stats here. So I'm going to throw it out to the fates.
All right, then.
98.
Whoa, that's an ogre.
Nice.
You're an ogre.
I've been an ogre in a few campaigns. They're fun.
She just killed an ogre in the last game. Like
This'll be,
she killed a party mate last game. It's okay, guys.
I can tell her. It's all ogre her face. I can see it.
I really, Friendon, want your vigilante to be the punster. Like that's his whole thing is just making puns.
Maybe punslinger as a custom profession that we need to write.
We'll work on that, maybe.
He does have a 51 in fellowship or willpower, so maybe he just commands via
His whole
pun.
shtick is he just makes puns the entire time.
I
mean, Rain Survives as the Punisher with pun as the
exactly.
That's
That's
bad.
just me playing myself though. Then at that point, it's not really role playing.
Yeah,
so
well, you know,
That's how he casts spells, is rattles off puns.
exactly. All right, so I am gonna roll. Let's see.
You're gonna roll
39. I am an elf.
You're an elf. Elves are fun.
I've never played an elf in Zwei, so we'll see.
They got a really neat ancestral chart. I think we can all agree, if you go through and you read them, that human probably has the best chart. I think Chuck from Defenders of Cobalt, when he made his character for Howard and Huttenberg, said it's almost like the writer favored humans because he does.
Right.
So, but hey, like I said, it's not bad. It's not bad. So
My secret lair is actually a shelf. It turns out
we got a nice mix here of ancestries this time. Not really loaded up one way or the other. So. We do have a human somewhere. I know the Pumpkin King is a human. So that's the first ancestral chart we come to. So Jake, you're going to get your ancestral trait first. So go ahead and roll. And for those of you that are using your sheets, there's a whole list of traits down the side, lines where you can put traits. That's where I advise writing down all this information as you roll it tonight, and then I will add it to your sheet in all the places it needs to be. So if you just want to list those things there, that's just a quick, easy place to put all of it. So go ahead and give us that D100 roll.
Here we go.
For the Ancestral Chart.
Keep at 48.
You have Grim Resolve. Grim Resolve reads, the effect, immediately after you suffer damage from a melee or ranged weapon, you can spend a fortune point to ignore it entirely, therefore negating both damage and injuries you may have suffered. You may even use this after failing to dodge and parry, so you can effectively use fortune points as fate points, and that is baller. It's almost like the writer's favorite humans.
I can totally mess up the rest of the party and keep myself safe.
And keep
as
yourself
a real
alive
hero
at the cost of everyone else. Yeah, pretty much. That's a pretty impressive ancestral trait, Grim Resolve. You're gonna make everyone else jealous with that when they roll, I have a feeling. We have a dwarf. I believe Velik is a dwarf. So give me a D100 roll, Velik, and we'll see what you get. 83. Stentorian Voice, if I'm saying that correctly. Stentorian Voice. Whenever you use a fellowship-based skill, refer to either your brawn or fellowship primary attribute, whichever is the highest. So if your brawn is higher than your fellowship, you get to use your brawn in place of your fellowship, which you had good rolls everywhere, so I don't even know which one was the highest on yours. But
my brawn was way higher than fellowship, though, so that's pretty good.
Oh, there you go. So if you had an Achilles heel, you just lost it. So
I mean, it's really only 3 points, but still.
And it's because you have a loud and booming voice. When they speak, others listen. That's in the fluff part of it, if you want to know how it actually plays out. Okay, we only had one dwarf. We do have an elf. Fredid's an elf.
We do. All right.
So give us a roll on your chart and see what you get.
A 2.
Bewitching.
I mean, I am, so let's go with it.
Oh, man. Whenever you cast magic to control minds or use the charm skill on others, foes must flip the results to fail to resist. And that is your score as fellowship, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
If you need a caster at this point.
I am crossing fingers.
However, this only works if your foe can both see and hear you. So as long as you're there, then they will be. So write Bewitching down there in one of those traits. That's actually really, really good. Yeah. I do like the elf. The elf tree is not bad from what I've seen of it so far. Don't think we had a gnome, right? No gnomes?
No, a halfling.
We have a halfling, though. Who's our halfling?
That's me.
All right. Let's see your percentile roll.
God, I hope I get like under an 8.
73.
Nope, 73. Kleptomania.
Kleptomania. Whenever you're in a pinch and need one object that could realistically fit in your pocket, you spend one fortune point to automatically find it in your pocket. So, for instance, you could use this to produce a single silver shilling from your pockets, but not several single shillings without spending an equal number of fortune points. So, you have deep pockets, and you're apparently
I'm a walking bag of holding.
And yeah, you're just a walking bag of holding. So, that's actually a pretty neat ability as well. And we have an ogre.
And we have an ogre that's really hoping that maybe we'll get a 59 to 67 because we have a halfling, right? Christopher's a halfling.
Yes.
So, all right. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I went over 59.
35.
Damn it. Yeah, 59.
Oh, you got gut plate though. This is like statistic. This is what Vladimir had in the last game. So the gut plate means you have a belly that is so thick and leathery it counts as leather armor for the purposes of damage threshold.
Okay.
So it's going to give you a +2 to your damage threshold if you're wearing basically nothing else.
See, I was aiming for the odd couple, which is something that if you're playing, you actually get some benefits of halfling. But oh well, another game.
So you don't have to have armor because your gut plate is going to work as armor until you find armor better than leather, which would be hard to do. So, and get expensive quick. All right, so that is it for our ancestral traits. The next thing that we have is archetype. And if you've watched character creations for my previous games, I would let people pick their archetype. I'm not going to be that nice to you guys today because you're getting to pick your extra profession right from the get-go. So since you're going to have that ability, I'm not letting you pick your archetype. We're going to roll them. So Velik, a D100, and we'll find out what archetype you firmly are going to fall in. An 11. You are an academic.
Okay. I know how to play that, so that works.
All right. Moving down the line, Jake.
Where do I put that in the sheet?
You could just write it in one of those trait lines because your profession's what's
okay.
going to go at the top, and that's what's important. So
7.
Jake is also an academic.
We're the Umbrella Academia.
Yep.
Wah, wah.
Christopher.
90.
He's a warrior. I told you he would be.
You called it. That's great.
I told you he'd roll the cell sword. You watch him. It's coming.
It's going to be like, wait. I've got something in here for you.
Oh, man. Okay, that was Christopher. Snacks? A 34. You're a knave.
Indeed.
And Brendan?
6 to 2.
A ranger.
Oh, of course.
Makes all the sense in the world. The charismatic ranger. You're on Robin Hood path here.
Well, I meet all sorts of people. I'm out ranging. You have conversations. I like small talk. What can I say?
Now, normally, and I was telling them this before we started, normally this archetype would determine your starting gear. And that makes a lot of sense when you're at the basic tier and you're starting a brand new character. It's like, here's your backpack of all your stuff, this, that, the other. These guys are playing that advanced tier. They have effectively, their characters have survived 2 whole tiers worth of gameplay to get to this point. So I'm giving them a very reasonable allotment of gold to purchase their starting gear. So their starting gear will not be based off of this archetype. But for those of you who are Zweihander purist, who are like, well, that'll determine what kind of gear they start with, that may not be true when you see these characters in action in 2 weeks, because they're going to do a lot of shopping between game sessions. Now, we are using main gauche for the professions, so it is possible you can land yourself with a main gauche profession based on your archetype that you just rolled. I am going to go ahead and we're going to start with our academics. So I believe that we'll start again with Velik, because I think our first 3 were academics, or just first 2? First 2 were academics. So we got 2 academics to roll up. And that's a D100 roll, Velik, to see what your profession is going to be. An 87. A preacher. You're a caster, my friend. Lucky you. You are going to love this. You are a preacher. Your profession trait is fire and brimstone, which you get to re-roll leadership test and count them as critical successes if you succeed.
Oh, wow.
And you have the ability to cast magic. The only thing left is we'll have to go through and pick you a god to serve later. And so we'll talk about which one of those you might want to be under. And you might, more than the others, want to take a little time to make sure you watch the previous 2 campaigns. Because it might be important coming into this one. So, but I'll talk to you a little bit about what's going on and how that can play you. But you're going to be a preacher.
A dwarven preacher with a booming voice.
A dwarven preacher with a booming voice.
Beautiful.
It all works out.
You got to trust in the chaotic system of Zweihander, and you'll end up with something beautiful when you're done. So here you go. Who's our other academic? The old Pumpkin King is an academic.
Let's see where he falls on the chart. 41.
An engineer? Nope. Oh, a diabolist. Another caster. We have 2 casters. 1 divine, 1 arcane. A diabolist.
I've never gotten to play a caster in Zwei.
That is so great. It's the odds of a caster is like 7%. I did like the math. There's only like, out of the 100-some professions or whatever there's only like a few of them that are actually start out as casters, and we have 2 of them so far. Now, what was your willpower stat?
That's true. Oh no.
Was it any
I had
good?
It was 42.
Okay, hey, that's not bad. It's not.
Yeah.
Mine's also 42.
That's not bad at all. So, All right, so that's our academics. Man, we got 2 casters out of academic. That's crazy.
Their book learning just taught them all sorts of bad
Book
stuff.
learning just got way crazier. This whole game just went off the rails in no time. Like, 1 caster's bad enough, but 2, holy cow! Like,
Your campaign just got Necronomicon.
oh, if only. All right, we
Bonds
didn't
were
have any
defined.
commoners. We did have a knave.
I love you already.
Was the ogre the knave? Yeah, we have an ogre knave. So roll on a D100 and let's see what kind of knave the ogre is. A 78. A reaver. That's a main gauche profession. So I will supply you, if you do not have main gauche, I will supply you with all the rules for reaver. But in short, a reaver, just so you're aware of what you got, is a Viking.
Yeah.
You have the trait Vikinger. Viking.
Nice.
And basically, whenever you're basically, it says, born on foot by horse, you quickly leap in and out of the way of danger, providing you can see danger coming. When you or your steed are struck by a ranged weapon roll, you get to roll a d6 chaos die. If it lands on a 6, you ignore it automatically. So ranged attacks, you just ignore them if you roll a d6 on a chaos die. So that's pretty fantastic. And thank you for the follow there, Brand. Don't think I didn't notice. So far, you guys are lighting it up on what you have gotten at this point. Like, it's crazy good rolls so far.
I know you're just going to go extra hard on us because of it, too.
You know it. Friendon, what were you
All right.
again?
I'm a ranger.
That's right, Ranger is what we got next.
All right, I will go for that. A 100.
Whoa! Man, it's not nearly as cool as what it sounded, but you're a trapper, which
Okay.
probably could be really cool as a vigilante. Not what you
Okay.
think of, but somebody's got to be the traps guy. So
Yeah.
that's kind of neat. That's a
Puns
regular
and gadget.
profession from.
Inspector Gadget with all the intelligence.
Yeah, so we got a trapper. Is he a keeper? We'll find out. Oh.
Probably not. Probably not.
And we do have a warrior, a halfling
Indeed.
warrior nonetheless.
Yes, you can. Jen said you can trap small animals. I can ride into battle.
So go ahead and roll a d100. 10. Oh, you're a bravo.
Bravo!
Man, they are so good. Bravos are so good. It seems a more halfling fighter, the Bravo does. But if you're not familiar with them, they're fencers and they're fantastic. Yeah, you're not going to be disappointed with Bravo at all.
Yeah, I really like that halfling book, the 1.5 Musketeers.
All right, so I get to put the main Gauche book away for now because that was the only time we were going to need it for this part. So congratulations, everybody, on getting some fantastic professions. In past games, and I was not nearly as nice to you guys, I had rolled a separate profession, and if you got something that sounded like crap, I'd let you pick what I rolled instead of what you rolled. But I didn't do that to you guys because you're getting 2 extra professions on top of it. You weren't going to be nearly as set with whatever you had, so I didn't do it. But it turns out I don't think any of you would have taken the other option anyway. Like, what you got is all fantastic. So we are going to go ahead and move on because we still got a lot more rolls to make here. We move on to your season of birth, which those of you who played Zweihander know that it does absolutely nothing except determine the next roll. But we're going to do them anyway. So a D100, we're going to start with Velik. Give me a D100. Let's find out what season you were born in. A 5, you are springborn. So just write that down somewhere. Jake. 27. Puts you just into summer. You are summerborn. I know you were shooting for autumn. You wanted autumn so badly, Jake. I know you did.
Oh, I mean, so long as nobody knows my secret identity, it's not even an issue.
Yeah, that's right. It's all good.
Not to mention, things grow in the summer. As an ex-farmer, you need the summer to get to that fall.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. That was Jake, so Christopher. A 42.
To autumn. Nope.
You are
Summer.
also in summer.
Makes sense.
And Debbie. You are winter. Winterborn. And
All right.
Frandon, last but not least, a 20. You are Springborn.
Ooh.
Okay. So those of you who were Springborn, keep your fingers on that roll button.
Okay.
Who was our first Springborn?
I think I might be the only one. Oh no, Velik.
I think
Okay.
Velik's first.
Yeah, me.
I need a D100, and we're going to roll your dooming. Now, for those of you familiar with Zweihander, you know that every character in the world is Zweihander. Upon reaching adulthood, gets sort of a bar mitzvah, where they get taken before a caravan mystic and read how they will die. And that is what we are about to find out for each of these characters, is how they will die. And a 65 on the springtime chart says,
I'm baking on egg sandwich.
charity will cause your end, preacher. Charity.
All right.
And our other Springborn was Frendon. So, thank you for the brand for the subscription.
Nice.
A 15 on that same chart says, still waters run deep. Not bad. We had a Summerborn somewhere. Who was our Summerborn? Christopher?
That's me.
Hey,
Oh, man. Frendon laying down some of them their gift subs. Thank you, Frendon. Christopher rolled a 6.
Still waters may run deep, but my PayPal account is now just a slightly more shallow thing.
Christopher, you will see your own hubris and end your life.
No way, I'm a Bravo.
That doesn't sound like it fits at all. Snacks?
Winterborn.
You were Winterborn. Do we have another summer?
I am.
Oh, that's right, yes. Pumpkin King is Summerborn. Sorry. 78. The sun can be a cruel friend.
Agreed.
And
One
now we
trade.
move on to winter for our ogre. Debbie, bring us here. A 1.
One.
What?
Wow.
Beware the toothless hound.
Just picturing it gnawing on you now. Nom, 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 nom.
This is kind of like getting a fortune cookie. Not every character really dies based on their dooming. But what I like to offer as my GM special is style points. If you feel like you're at your end and you feel like it's bad, if you find some way to pull off your dooming, your next character, you get to pick your professions. So that's if you're going to go down in a blaze of glory and it's not the last game session, which is usually where most of my PCs find a way to die. But if you die any time before that and you manage to pull off your dooming on the way out, I let you pick your professions instead of roll them. So that's your goal, is if you're going to go with the dooming.
Go big.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. So with that out of the way, we'll move on to age group. Age has no effect on your stats whatsoever. It just determines how many distinguishing marks you get. So we are going to go ahead and roll a D100 one at a time to see what age group you fall into. So Velik, kick us off with another D100 roll. A 59. That puts you into the adult category. This is a very weighted chart. It is not evenly distributed like the seasons were. Jake?
37.
37. You are also an adult. Christopher?
44.
You are also an adult.
Just an adult.
And Snacks?
Let's see.
You're young. No distinguishing marks for you, Snacks. And Ferdinand?
71.
You are middle-aged. By
I
one
feel
whole
called out.
percentile, you qualified for middle age. You get 2 distinguishing marks. You stole Snack's extra mark. Because everyone else gets 1, you get 2, you get 0. You stole her distinguishing mark. So just know that second one was really hers.
From the mouths of babes,
From
you
the
know.
mouths
I
of
just
babes, yeah,
I
you
just stole it.
right
Yeah.
out of there. So again, that takes us to our distinguishing marks. If you're young, you have 0. So our ogre will not have any distinguishing marks. The rest of you will get at least 1. So we'll roll everyone else their 1, and then we'll do Frendon's 2 at the end. So Velik, We need a D100 to find out what distinguishing mark your character has. A 67. You have a patch of white hair.
Perfect.
Whatever you want to do with that.
You're like a preacher too. Maybe it's like this cool aligned.
And in front
Or
of a candle
also-
and a little halo.
Being a dwarf, it might have to be beard hair.
Oh, a patch of
yeah.
white in the beard. Oh,
That's
would be,
good.
That would be baller. See, there you go.
That's
I
good.
like it already. That's fantastic. Who is next then? We got Jake. You got one distinguishing mark. Let's see what it is.
All right.
A
70.
You have a perpetually deep frown.
Go well with my pumpkin mask.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that seems pretty fitting. Like
Yeah.
for what you're doing. So I dig it. Christopher, let's see what your distinguishing mark is.
37. Gross.
Your eyes are too far apart.
Oh no!
Oh.
And
You got
yet
some
I have a
wall-eyed.
52 fellowship.
You're wall-eyed with your
He's a-
52 fellowship.
I do this sometimes just to push him back with.
Is a wall-eyed halfling just a murloc? Is that what he is? Is he just a murloc? No.
Can I get another one? Like maybe
Could
have a
be.
humpback?
He's kind of, I guess. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what else happens. There's still more character to go here. Now, Brendan, we're skipping
get
Debbie
two.
because she's too young
Yeah.
to have distinguishing marks. So you got two of them. So
All right.
roll twice, and we got 21 and 53. So 21, you have a carefully groomed beard.
Fair.
You and the dwarf are going to have fights over this. I can tell. And
Are we still talking about the character?
My
or is
beard's
it Brendan
better.
now? It's
53, you have a lazy eye.
Oh, okay. Get back to work, I. We have things to do.
You got a lazy eye. Now, these don't have any statistical changes to them at all. But I'm not saying it why you were selected, but the vigilante who's trained you all is a character from Terra and Treefell, one of the original PCs for my first campaign. He had one lazy eye and one milky eye. And he threw knives as his weapon of choice. So he was a jester. So when you see them reference the clown, it's him. So he became a vigilante at the end of Terra and Treefell. So he's now the vigilante who is your guys' mentor. And so he's a jester who throws knives, and his one eye looks this way and the other's all milky.
I love it. That's fantastic.
I guess he just saw something in you, or
Yep,
maybe
he
he
did.
didn't. Who knows?
So that's what you get to look forward to. That's it for distinguishing marks. So we're going to move on to complexion. Again, this is just something that we roll. It doesn't have any stats difference. Makes no difference to the character other than just to give you an idea what they look like. So we'll just go right across the board there. Velik, a D100 roll. We'll find out what skin complexion your character has. 76. You are brown-skinned.
All right.
And Jake,
1.
you are also brown-skinned.
They come from a southern academia school, like
Christopher?
sun-scorched.
What?
Light
brown.
brown-skinned.
Okay.
Debbie Snacks? 90. You're dark brown-skinned.
Can you give her ebony skin?
Almost.
Ebony
If she would roll
ogre-
just one
ebony
higher, she
ogre
would've.
One
reaver.
higher. Yeah.
For her Viking, yeah.
Viking
And
Reaver
Brendan
Ogre.
is light-skinned. He's
Okay.
the elf. Of course he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair skinned elf.
I'm
On
just
the-
translucent, basically,
That's
Debbie,
skin.
is what it is.
All right. So build type. This one actually has a little bit of a modifier, and this will actually be more important to you guys than most games that I've run here because you're buying all of your equipment. This is actually going to come into play. So,
I learned
Whereas-
that last.
whereas
Yeah.
age has almost no benefit except some fun distinguishing marks, your build type, if you happen to get frail or slender, you're going to get a 10 or 20% discount on your armors and wares when you purchase them because they don't take as much to make a suit of armor for someone who's small. If you happen to get husky or corpulent, you're going to pay more. Sorry, I didn't make the rules. I just play by them. So just keep that in mind when you roll this chart. It's a D100 roll, and we'll go ahead and start with Velik the Preacher. Let's see.
Here comes the real chunky dwarf.
Bless you.
83. Yep, you're a corpulent, fat, dwarven preacher. So
I love it. I love it.
the fat preacher, he's going to pay 20% more for all his food and all of his armor and clothing. It's just got more expensive.
I know, Sarah. Same thing with bras.
Jake?
Here we go. 49.
49. You're normal. You have no bonus or negative. You're just normal build. All right. And that takes us over to Christopher.
Sorry, I was making a Friar Tuck joke.
It's all good.
13.
13.
Frail.
You are Frail. The Frail Halfling. I played a Frail Halfling on the official Zweihander channel. His name was Miguel. He was, I was an adherent, a nun. And I was the mouthiest little halfling you ever met your whole life. I worshipped the steward, the god of war, and I beat Cugel, and it was great.
Challenge accepted.
It is. You can go back and watch
Mouthiest little
those.
halfling.
It's all out there. It was hella fun, though. I loved
Yeah.
halfling. Brings us to Snacks. Snacks?
Husky.
63.
Plus
Husky.
10%.
You're going to pay 10% more, but your ogre is Husky.
That makes sense for an ogre.
Yeah.
Stout build.
And with
We had
the
Our last
iron
ogre
belly.
was Frail. He was a Frail ogre.
I played a dwarf that was a Doomsayer, I think.
Yeah, Doomsayer.
Yeah, that was super frail and also had a scarred face, like a burnt off face, as his distinguishing mark. And I was like, this does not look like a dwarf that anyone is looking like. He just looks like a little frail burnt man. Is what he looks like.
And
It's like,
Brandon,
you might.
18. You're Frail also.
Nice.
The Frail Elf.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're just accentuating the frailness of the already Frail Elf.
I'm really leaning into the archetype here. Is what I'm going for.
Now, this build type we will use when we do your height and weight and stuff. It'll come into play there also. So don't forget that when we move here to the next page. I'm still using the revised core rulebook where it still has males and females split up into two different charts. I'm
Right.
not going to limit you to whatever gender role you would like your character to be. You get to pick your pronouns. I will let you, based on whatever you want your character to be, to pick which table you want to roll on without question, and then whatever you want to make your character, you make your character. But you do have to pick the table before you roll. I'm not letting you decide then after the fact which one you like better. Just pick which one you want to roll on, tell me, roll it, and I will tell you what you are based on your whatever chart you're on and what your build type was. So we'll start with Velik. So you're a corpulent dwarf. Would you like to roll on the male or female chart?
I guess the male chart.
Okay. Male dwarf, corpulent. Give me a D100. A 44. You are 4'9" and 246 pounds.
More of a ball
He's
than
heavy.
a man.
Oh, God, with the white patch on his beard.
With
He
a
can be
white
called
patch
cue
on
ball.
the beard.
Cue ball. This is the
Ho,
white patch.
ho, ho.
Good, Jake.
That's fantastic. All right. Jake, you're a normal build.
Go for normal human male
All right. Human
vanilla
male.
man.
An 8.
Wow.
You're 5'5" and 151 pounds.
Yeah.
5'5", 151. Nobody will know that you're not a frail dwarf. Unless you want to tell them otherwise. All right, so who's next? Christopher, you're a halfling.
Indeed. I'll use the halfling male.
And you're on which chart again? Frail?
Frail, yes.
Yes, okay. So give us the D100. 50.
50.
You are
Oh.
4 foot tall and 64 pounds.
I'm the tallest person in my family. Also the lightest.
True story. An ogre. Would you like to be on the male or female chart this time, Snacks?
I think with all the males in this group, I'll go for female.
Go with female? All right. Roll that
All right.
D100. And you were husky. So, on a 25, you are 8'4", 557 pounds.
8 foot,
Practically a baby.
just a
8'4",
fiber.
557.
Very young complexion.
Yes, you're young. And a Viking.
Oh, I have Velik's character right here. This is his vigilante. He's the F-bomb.
The F-bomb. Brendan, you're an elf, and you are
Frail.
frail. Would you like to be on the male or female chart?
Male.
Male, okay. Just like I said, I'm not assuming that. You are 6 foot tall and 106 pounds.
A strong wind will just blow me away.
Yes. Very true. We have hair color and eye color to do next, and those are 2 individual rolls. So, I will have each of you just roll D100 twice, and I'll just read off both of yours to you so you can jot them down and we'll move on to the next one. So, Velik, I need 2 D100 rolls. And you are under dwarf. So, 71 will give you sienna for the color of your hair. And 74 will give you pale green for the color of your eyes. And Jake is a human. So Jake, 2 rolls.
And 76.
A 46 gives him... You have sienna for the color of your hair. And a 76. Dark green for the color of your eyes. And that takes us to Christopher as a halfling. Christopher, 2 rolls. 64 and 64. You didn't want to change it up any, huh? All right.
No. Oh, but the hair I like.
Ooh, fiery red for hair. You got fiery red hair. And copper eyes. That may be the most interesting set we've gotten so far. As far as
It works
options.
together.
that you
Light
with.
brown skin, copper eyes, fiery red hair.
Fiery red hair.
I'm from the plane of I'm from the city of bronze, brass.
Yeah, there you go.
City of brass.
Debbie, you're an ogre. So 2 rolls. 33 and 100. Oh, man.
Ooh.
33. You have light brown hair.
And violet eyes.
Did the stream die or is it just my screen?
Looks good to me so far.
Okay, it was just my screen. Just making sure. It suddenly said I wasn't up anymore. I was just making sure it was going. And I'm sorry, 100. You have violet eyes.
Nice.
Purple eyes. It just looked like I crashed for a moment. Sorry for the delay there. And Frendon, you're an elf. So 2 rolls from you. 87. Smoky gray for your hair color. That's not a bad one. 93. You have gold eyes.
Ooh. I feel fancy.
What humans make up for in the ancestral trait, everyone else makes up for in the cool options on the eyes and hair color.
You're just continuing to play into the theme for your ancestry.
Yes.
I really enjoy that one of my lazy eyes is alluringly golden. As it stares not at the person I'm speaking to.
That's awesome.
They're just really distracted by that one eye, and they're like, ooh.
All right. Next, we're going to do your upbringing. And what upbringing does is it picks one of the attributes, and there will be a little circle down in the corner. When you click it, you can make a checkbox appear in that attribute. If you were to purchase any, what's the word I'm looking for? Why can't I think of what it's called all of a sudden? They're not specialties. Focuses. If you purchase a focus under one of the skills that's under that attribute, you get them at half price. Now, I advise heavily against focuses in basic tier and even getting into intermediate tier. But at advanced tier, it might actually be a decent time to think about getting one as you get RP as we go through the game. So this might actually come more into use. There is a list of There's a list of them that you can pick from for each skill. And that's what the white lines that you see next to all the skills are. That's where you would list focuses if you have any. So when we get around to RP spending and stuff like that, this would tell you which ones you get your half-price appetizers in. So it'll also give you a word that will kind of give you an idea of how your character was brought up. So when you start backstory thinking, like this will help you maybe be a keyword you can use to help a backstory. I know that my other players in the past have used it for that, and it actually is not a bad idea. So a D100 roll will tell us where we start with. So Velik, kick us off with a good roll and C73. You had an opportunistic upbringing, so perception is your favored primary attribute. So again, there's a little circle in the corner of perception down there. You can click on it, put a little checkbox in there. It does nothing but just remind you that that's what your favorite attribute technically is, regardless of which one's the highest. Jake?
15.
You are forgotten. It's agility. All right, Christopher? A 60.
60. Also perception.
Opportunistic, you're also perception. And Debbie? 52. Militant combat is you were brought up in a militant household.
So you said that's going to be
There's
one
a
of
little
the
circle in your combat down in the corner, like the bottom left corner where your combat score is. You click that, there's a little checkbox. That's just a reminder so you remember which one it is.
the one that's below the number. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
And Brendan? 87. Reverent willpower.
Okay.
Ooh, that's good since he has.
That's my highest stat, yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, all that does is tell you, what kind of household you were brought up in. Being raised in that kind of household doesn't mean you stayed that way. It's just how you were brought up. We're going to do social class next, and this is going to be one of those times where the benefit of social class is going to be more of an in-character, in-game thing, and again, part of your upbringing and your backstory, because you're not getting your starting gold based off of it, your starting money. I'm giving you all the same amount, so no matter what you roll here, and there's a good in-game reason for that too. But we do need a D100 from each of you to find out what social class you belong to. So, Velik, you get to lead off. A 90? Man, you're a burger class. You were 1 point away from being aristocracy. It's a very weighted chart. You have to roll very high to get anything other than lowborn, but you did good. You're in the burger class. Jake?
What's burger class? I'm assuming it has nothing to do with meat patties.
No. It's merchants. It's kind of the merchant class.
Yeah, if you own the meat patties, then yes.
The burger class actually does flip to fail, is what it is.
Oh.
It actually does flip to fail.
You flip the fail on all cooking checks.
Oh.
Jake's 93. Wow, he is in the aristocracy. He managed it. You 2 rolls in the 90s already, so you're an aristocrat.
I am the Pumpkin King.
And the king is not a joke. He's in line to succession to the crown, perhaps.
No, I'm not, because I was forgotten in my upbringing.
Malice subscribe. Thank you for the sub,
You're like
Malice.
third born.
Yeah.
Christopher? A 20. You're lowborn.
How dare you? I'll have
You're
your eyes
lowborn.
for that.
Debbie? 35. You're lowborn.
Which is why I joined the military, or my
That's right.
family was militant, because,
Brendan, also in the burger class. 1 point away from aristocracy as well. But it is what it is. Now, for those of you familiar with Zweihander, you know that social class comes up way more in social intrigue and actual interactions for social abilities than what you would imagine. When you're dealing with people of other social classes, there's a lot of professions that get bonuses to skills and stuff based on if you're the same social class or different than someone else. So it actually plays into the game mechanics far more than what you probably imagine than just your starting gold. So you do have that to look forward to as well. So having a little diversity in the group is good. Okay, so this is a fun time. This is one of my favorite times of character creation. It's drawbacks. Now, when I created your character sheets, I went through, and in the place where it says fate points, you will see that I have already given you all 1 fate point. It is there. It is yours. It is your only get-out-of-jail-free card, with the exception of the human who has Grim Resolve, who's going to spend all your fortune to mimic fate points throughout the rest of the game. Because I just know Jake, and that's what he'll do. But for the rest of you, if you want to keep from getting injured, or you want to keep from dying, fate points is what you need. And so the only other way you can get one in my games, because my games do not usually go more than 10 sessions, so you can't fill up that order alignment all the way to get another fate point, most likely, you're going to have to take a drawback here at character creation. Now, if you take one, you will get an extra fate point for doing so, but it is a hard mechanical defect to your character that you will be rolling up if you decide to take one. You do not have to. I don't know which one's more dangerous, sometimes the drawback or not having the other fate point. 6 to 1, half dozen the other, I suppose. I don't want to put you on the spot first, Velik, but you go first. So are you going to take that fate point, or are you going to...
Absolutely.
All right, so roll a D100.
Everything else is too rosy on my character sheet.
Okay, let's see what happens. 68. Oh, man. You have the phlegmatic temperament. Now, there was an elf in Terran Trefell that had phlegmatic temperament, and it means you cannot explode damage dice. So, whenever you're suffering from stress, fear, or terror, your fury dice do not explode. So, in situations where fear and terror crop up, if you roll a 6 on a fury die, you don't get to reroll it again. So it really limits your damage output.
So would that apply to all combat or only specific?
Only
combat?
when you're under stress, fear, or terror. So there are situations that cause those to come up. So if I say this thing induces fear, stress, or terror, then you know you can't explode your damage dice. So write phlegmatic temperament down. You got your fate point for it. Most things do not invoke that level of fear, stress, or terror, but like demons, supernatural do. So when you encounter those, you become too scared, you can't fight.
The important fights.
All right, yeah, the important fights. Jake?
Since I'm already a walking luck hog, I'm going to just go ahead and take my 1 fate point and be happy with it.
You know, must be something with you kobolds. Chuck did the same thing. And I damn near made him spend it in the first session. And then he went the rest of the game with none.
Oh, no.
But hey,
no.
if you like to live dangerously, that's what you're doing. So, all right.
Well, it can be more dangerous to have drawbacks, so.
Christopher?
I'll take a drawback.
All right, then. Let's roll it and see what it is. A 9.
Bleeder.
You're a bleeder. That one's kind of devastating, not going to lie. Bleeder hurts.
That's why I'm the face.
That's right.
Face, not the face.
Whenever you're treated with the heal skill, a caregiver suffers an additional -20 base chance unless they expend an additional bandage. That is brutal.
Is your background royalty? I'm starting to feel some inbreeding royalty bleeding thing going on here.
I was probably like a bastard child of a king out in the working in a smithy. And, yeah.
The Horror and Huttenberg cast spent most of the game and almost all of their accumulated gold on healing supplies trying to keep themselves alive. Having someone needing extra bandages to try to heal is just... That's brutal.
Ruthless.
I know what I'm buying.
Good luck with that one. Snacks, would you like a drawback, or are you going to roll in with Jake with just 1 fate point?
Well, it's one of those things where I think my character done pretty well so far and is very young. So a lot of the drawbacks are, I don't know. I'm gonna say what the heck. I'm gonna throw it in there and I'm gonna roll for a drawback.
Alrighty.
39. Oh no!
Underhead.
No! No!
Not the ogre.
The ogre is a dunderhead.
It ain't so.
Fun fact: the ogre we had in Terra and Trefell, Meraki, she was a slayer. She had dunderhead as her. So
that's
maybe
a
you're
bad
some
combo.
relation to Meraki.
Yeah, that's a rough 1-2 punch there.
Yeah. So whenever you suffer from mental peril, you move 1 additional step down the peril track negatively and suffer 1 corruption. So peril affects you extra hard, and that's exactly what happened to Meraki. She was maybe the most killing machine character I have ever seen rolled in Zweihander history, and she was constantly getting peril and
That's
just
fantastic.
standing there catatonic and couldn't do anything. Like, it's rough. Friendon, I know you're not afraid of a drawback, are you?
No.
Yeah. 90. You have a veteran's eye.
It's the lazy one. It's the lazy one.
Nope, it's not
Yeah.
the lazy one. It's the other one. So you have an eye patch on one eye and a lazy eye on the other.
It is super the lazy eye. That's why it's lazy. It's seen some action. It's tired. It's taken retirement early.
Nobody can ever tell where you're looking because the other one's an eye patch.
I like the idea that I'm like this like attractive, gold-eyed, silver-haired elf with just the most fucked up eyes.
I'm not letting you out
You
either that you're missing the lazy eye. That is not happening because that's a distinguishing mark. That means it still has to be visible. So,
Who ever knows where I'm looking? It's part of
and
my.
it's gold. It's a golden eye too. Like.
The eyes have it. You win. It's the lazy eye is the open one.
That's right. Oh man, I do love
It's going to be
drawbacks.
so difficult for my character to deal with because, she has social skills issues as it is. So talking to the, not knowing, why won't you make eye contact with me?
I'm just gonna assume that you have a nervous tick as you do this. Like, what's with Snacks' character? Always serpentining. Really weird. Man.
Oh, well, that brings us to alignment, and these again, for those of you unfamiliar with Zweihander, your alignment, you get a set of them: an order alignment and a chaos alignment. They're paired up, and they are forever in a race to see which one fills up first. Whenever you reach 10 dots in your order alignment, you gain a fate point. Whenever you hit to 10 chaos ranks, you gain a derangement, and then they reset back. Both of them reset back to 0, so you can start over again. You gain 1 per game session, one way or the other, but chaos is much easier to gain than order. So you can gain, I've seen people gain up to 4 chaos ranks in a single game. It's hard to do, but I've seen people manage. Terran Trifa, or the Horn Huntenberg cast managed it a couple times. So I've seen people get really close to gaining that derangement, your disorder, and all that sort of stuff. So those are way more likely to happen. So just keep that in mind. We're going to do a D100 roll, and it's going to give us a set of alignments. Those go on the alignment section of your character sheet up near the top. You will see there's a place for both of them, one on one side, one on the other. And then there's a big corruption ball in the middle. And we'll talk about a corruption at a later time. Most of you know what that is at this point. So go ahead, Velik, and give me a D100 roll, and let's find out what your alignments are. A 9. Candor and cruelty. You're a cruel preacher. Maybe your god choice will have a little to do with why you're so cruel.
At least
Probably.
he's honest.
Yeah. All right. Jake?
61.
61. Impiety and heresy. Boy, does that not work perfect. Man. That is so good for what you're doing.
And ballast. God, I love it.
Yeah. So, Christopher?
12.
12. You also have candor and cruelty. Debbie? 28. Dignity and vehemence. Brendan? 71. Independence and rebellion.
Ooh.
That's a nice set. I like that
I
one
have
too.
vehement.
I got a thing
Vehement.
here. I can read to you what it means if you don't know.
Oh,
You drive for personal gain, will crush many beneath its bloated weight, friend, foe, and kin alike. You possess the strictest selfishness. Any means is justified as long as it fulfills your desires. In your mind, sacrifice is a price others pay to fulfill your visions.
Oh, so I'm like a large version of Cork.
Yeah, you're Cork. There you go. You understand fully now.
I know what the word means now.
All right. So, you guys have completed all the roles for character creation at this point. I have already filled in all the dots on your rewards and tiers page. Between game sessions, I will be going through there and logging your entire character in. I will put all the talents, your all the talents, all of your ancestral traits, drawbacks, anything that you have picked today. I will be putting them on the talents and trappings page as a talent. If you go to that page already and you scroll down where there's talents, you will currently see the Vigilante trait and you will see the Vigilante drawback. If you were to click on one of those, the entire effect rule will pop into the chat, where chat can see it right now, and you would be able to read it. And this is how I supply you with all the rules for your profession. This is why you do not have to necessarily own the books to be in my game. I put everything you need. All of your weapons, I will have programmed onto that talents and trappings page. You will see them there listed. Once you tell me what weapons you purchase, you can pick from main gouge or from the main rulebook. I'm going to supply you with an entire list. I put those in there. I also put in the description all of the traits that come with that weapon. So if you click on the weapon there, all the traits associated with it will appear on in the chat box as well, so you do not have to constantly be looking for qualities on the weapons, things of that nature. It will already all be there. Those are super handy. It does everything in one nice attack roll and damage all at one time. So I will program all of that onto your sheets based on what you want. And I have done that through all my games, and I find that it helps players, and particularly new players, keep track of what's going on. And also me as a GM, there's a lot of numbers that float around. I'll forget that a weapon's fast, and then when I see it on the screen, I'm like, oh yeah, it's fast. It gets a minus 10 to parry. So, things like that help remind me as well. So everything is done. Your guys' job for the next 2 weeks now is to figure out what your third profession's going to be. You have your base profession you roll tonight. Everybody gets Vigilante on top of it because you've all spent a certain amount of time training under the Vigilante known as Tragedy. Hagen Ferncrest is his real name. He has trained you all to be Vigilantes. You guys are in the capital of Vallandria, and he has some very important business he needs you to take care of. So you guys then get to go through the books, and if you need anything from main gouge, if you want options from main gouge, I will open them up to you, but be warned, most of the things in main gouge are not exactly the most player friendly. A lot of those covenant magics and stuff they ain't joking around on what you have to have in order to cast those spells. So if you have ideas of things that you want, like what direction you want to go, by all means let me know. The other thing that I have for you is I'm going to let each one of you take one unique advance.
Oh.
A unique advance is where you take a skill from your profession or vigilante, either one, I don't care which, and you get to change it to a different skill. Unique advances, what those do, for instance, our Preacher or our Diabolist, Vigilante does not have incantation. So if you wanted to be better at spellcasting, you would take one skill that Vigilante has and you would say, forget that, I don't want that, I'm going to turn that to incantation. And what it does is it makes Vigilante then not limit your casting ability as you go into Tier 3. Because you have to have 2 ranks, for instance, in incantation to take certain professions at Tier 3. So when you're looking at requirements in professions on what you might want to play, if you get to make one unique advance somewhere on your sheet, you just need to tell me what it is so that I can make sure it's reflected everywhere, because I already added Vigilante completely to your sheet, so I had to take something off and re-add it back in. Things like that. If you take a profession, or if you see that Vigilante already has the same talent that you got on your profession today, because Vigilante has 3 talents, if you already got it on your profession, they do not double up. You get to pick a new talent to replace where anything's doubled up. If you take something at Tier 3 that has that talent, when you purchase it, you will get to pick something different. You cannot have the same talent twice. So keep those things in mind as you're looking. Whether you want to diversify your portfolio with your pick, whether you want to go for flavor, whether you just want to match stats as much as possible. I highly advise someone be somebody who will take a heal skill. Somebody needs to be that person. I'm not saying you have to, but heal.
Maybe I am the trapper keeper.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if any of you got a profession with heal on it. I don't think the Diabolist has it. I think the Preacher might. The Preacher, I think, does. So if he has the heal skill, he may want to turn around and take Vigilante and use his unique advance to get rid of one of those things and take heal, so he can be a much better healer. Because I'll tell you right now, unless you take one specific profession for your advanced tier, there's no healing magic in Zweihander. Healing comes in the form of opiate-induced potions that are just as likely to kill you as heal you, and barber surgeons wrapping you with bandages and sending you on your way one time per day. So healing is rough. You die a lot to attrition in Zweihander, more so than blunt force damage. So those are things that you do have to keep in mind. So I think the Preacher does get heal, now that I think about it. So you guys did roll a healer, at least. So those of you who are spellcasters, what I do is, this is not exactly my book, but what I'm going to do for you is your intelligence bonus, your IB, is the total number of spells I'm going to let you select. Not your willpower bonus. Your willpower bonus is the number that actually gets factored into the spell's effects. I'm going to let you take your IB worth of spells, and that will form your prayer book or your whatever the caster book is. I forget what the other one's called. Spell book or prayer book. I think
and that's intelligence divided by 10, right?
Well, you're based on profession. You get to add IB in sometimes, so it may go up if you are increasing those bonuses. But it is the tens die of your initial score is what it will start at. And then if Vigilante gave you any extra bonuses, it may already be put in there. But I don't think it has an intelligence bonus on Vigilante. So 2 weeks from today, we'll be back here for game session number 1, which I have titled High Stakes. You guys will meet Tragedy officially for the first time in roleplay, at least. You guys will get your mission, and we will kick this thing off on the ground running with a fun action sequence and some other stuff going down, and you'll learn a little more about what it is you're going to be doing. You need to come back with your third profession picked, so you'll just need to be in communication with me between then. I need to know if you take a unique advance, what it is, and I'm going to be giving you a list and a gold amount to spend, and I need to know what your gear is so I can put it on your sheets. And of course, a little backstory doesn't hurt. It doesn't have to be pages. It can be a paragraph or two. Just a little idea of who you are. The last thing about Vigilante is that you have a dual identity. I think everybody understands the concept of a Vigilante, but it has a mechanical bonus in the game that you cannot spend fate points if people recognize you as your non-Vigilante identity. So whenever you're out there in regular, whatever your character's name is, form, when you're Bruce Wayne, if you will, you can't spend fate points to keep from dying.
Boy.
You can only spend fate points when you're Batman. So
I can spend fortune points.
Yeah, that's right. You get to use fortune points. So like I said, you'll be spending them all the time, I have a feeling. But so that is something you do have to keep in mind. When you're picking gear, remember that there may be points in time where it's more beneficial to go in as your non-vigilante moniker to do a scene. I'm intentionally writing some of the scenes to need people to not be in their vigilante forms. So those will be things you'll have to keep in mind as you go through the game. So take different sets of clothing, take options for disguises, things you might want to do. And I will be back in 2 weeks to see what you guys have fully come up with. And we'll do some character introductions at the first game and then kick things off. So I won't have you tip your hand as to what you're leaning to do now. You guys can discuss it in the group chat or not. I don't care if you want to make it group decisions on what you're all taking. But come up with a cool vigilante name, come up with a cool character name, and a little bit of what you want the design for your characters and stuff to look like, your gear selections. Get all that to me, and I will get it on your sheets in the next 2 weeks. Everyone else out there, thank you guys for coming and watching tonight. If you were here for something about Marie earlier and you've stuck around for this also, then thank you double for hanging out all evening long with me as we have done a Zweihander doubleheader today. I'm super stoked to get this third campaign rolling, and 10 or so game sessions later, bring this trilogy of mine to a crashing, burning end. Because I'll guarantee you that will be. That's how they all end. Fire and burning and badness. And I'm gonna
That's how most of my dates end, too.
Yeah, mine too, kind of sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and let everybody say their goodbyes here and tell them again where you can find them. Velik, start us off.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming out. You can catch me on Twitter as XenoDuck or Twitch at AbductedGaming.
Alrighty. And Jake?
I'm Jake with the Defenders of Kobold. You can catch all of our stuff, our updates and whatnot at Twitter at Kobold Defenders. And that's about all there is to say about that.
Alrighty. And Christopher?
I am Christopher on Twitch, all the RPGs. Also part of Two Old Guys Games, 2oggames.com. That's it.
Alright, and Debbie? Debbie Snacks?
I am Debbie Snacks on Twitch. Have content coming out hopefully being in February, and you can find me up with all the RPGs on Wednesday nights, and over at Homebrew RP every other Saturday.
And Brendan, bring us home.
Hi, I'm Friendon. You can find me wherever Friendons are sold, which is everywhere because my ego is so big, and it's with Friendon everywhere.
All right. Again, I am the GM for Things Zweihander here at T22KB. You can find me here every other Sunday running Zweihander. Every Monday night for Board Game Community Night. You can use your channel points that you collect by sitting here watching me do cool stuff like this. You can spend those points to get to come onto the channel with me and Jeff, and we play board games through Tabletop Simulator with our fans and our friends. And you can be those people and hang out with us on Monday nights now. Tuesdays, around here, it's music creation night and art night. Levi does DM'd art. He does all the art for our 5e games. You've probably seen some of it. It's fantastic. He's a great artist. He's art teacher even. Fantastic artist. Cameron, they switched spots. Cameron used to go first. Not anymore. Levi goes first. I believe at 7 p.m. 9 p.m. Cameron takes over. Bardic Knowledge. He makes a lot of the music. He has made some music for Horror in Huntenberg. I haven't hit him up for it yet, but he might have some stuff for Vigilantes of Vallandria coming up. I'll see if he's got some time. Maybe he'll put together something for this game as well. He's definitely been working on stuff for the I, Kindred Vampire game that I have coming up. He's super stoked about that. So he's been pumping out a lot of vampire music for me. And if he makes something for me, I will certainly use it. Wednesdays, we alternate. This week would be GM prep, except I'm not going to be doing GM prep live this week. I'm staying with my dad who had an accident a week ago. And so just keeping an eye on him. I will not be doing GM prep this Wednesday. So Wednesday night will be a dead air night here at T22KB as I go over and just continue to keep an eye on my dad. He's doing well. Everything seems to be fine. But thanks everyone for all the thoughts and wishes and everything along the way as well. But there won't be any GM prep Wednesday. Alternating Wednesdays is Don't Sleep, our All Flesh Must Be Eaten zombie game, where for a mere 100 bits, you can try to kill our characters with a zombie. And if you're like our moderators, you like to buy them in hordes of 15 at a time. So it's brutal. Levi throws them into the game wherever you buy them. You get to describe them even sometimes for your single bit donation, and it's insanity. It's amazing that any of us have survived any games at all. It's fantastic fun though. So come watch Don't Sleep, our All Flesh Must Be Eaten game every other Wednesday at 10 p.m. Thursdays, we're doing Looking for Group. It's another community night. It's usually video games, Jackbox, Among Us. You can, again, use your channel points that you're collecting by coming watching our content. Use it to get on the waiting list, get put into the games, come play games with Jeff, Cameron, myself. We have a good time on Thursdays. Friday, I heard Clint got his new 3D printer. So his 3D print and chill that he does all day long on Fridays. He'll set that thing up and just let that thing go all day long. He's starting a huge project. He had to buy a new printer. The project was too big for his printer. You want to find out what it is and what he's doing, come around Friday. I don't even know what time he's going to start this thing, but it's going to happen. Crazy Ike will let us know. And it's going to take several weeks of printing, but he's going to make this thing. It's going to be fantastic when he's done. Keep an eye on the Discord. If you're not in there, get in there and watch the progress of this thing as it goes along. Saturday, Everstorm, our 5e game. We've been playing it for over 2 years on here on stream, and people have been coming and watching it. It's a great game. I have a ton of fun. That will be back Saturday, 10 p.m. You find it on the opposite weekends as Zweihander. So again, and then in 2 weeks, we're back here for Vigilantes of Vallandria. And you'll see these great people here back again. So now we are done. I have given all the plugs. Again, find us on YouTube, find us in the Discord, come hang out, play games with us. We love having everybody here. We thank you all for the subs, the raids, everything else we've gotten tonight. And we are going to pass along the love to my friends over at the Grouch Couch. They're doing Drunks and Dragons. I don't remember what season they're in now, but Fishy's wearing a Minotaur helmet, and it's all the rave. So hang out here, guys, for a few seconds. We're going to go, and I will catch you all later. Peace. 3, 2, 1, and we're raiding. And we're gone. All right.